Oh, December, a month of hardship and battlegrounds, joy in life, a tangled web of hope and fear. I dedicate this song to all you brothers taking long trips to the Philippines from all around the world. And your girl gets this message that you ain't coming, you found somebody better. She upset that it's a holiday month here in December. I tell her, hold the crying and lying. It's time to fly and move on, my friend. It's drama December. It's drama December. Tell my girl I'll be gone till December. I'll be gone till December. The drama cannot be all year, my love. Only drama December. January, February, March, April, May. See you crying, but girl, I can't stay. June, July, August, September, October, a fall to remember. November, I'm so numb I just can't remember. Drama December, it's Christmas time, some Red Horse beer to keep you lined. Oh, it's drama December to remember. A tragic past, a haunting dream, a shattered heart, a mournful scene. Yet in the darkness, a glimmer of hope, a chance to heal, a chance to cope. When I come back, there be no time to clock. My new beginning is near, but I still need that drama. It's way too much, so hard in December. Why is it I need this drama?
We shall see. Holy Batman. You do know that was on the dog this morning, right there, reindeer boy?
I'm Rudolph.
You got a middle name there, Rudolph? Kane? Rudolph Kane.
Santa, let me ride your sleigh tonight, huh?
No. Well, you got something to ride with?
Oh yeah, we got the right reins for this ride.
That belongs to the dog.
It's mine now.
Well, where's... Okay. Hold up. So, there's a point to this, right? So,
You're supposed to toss him.
yeah, I'm gonna toss him, all right? You think I'm gonna be able to get that on there? Here,
Toss it.
see if you can do it.
Well, okay, hold on.
See if you can do it.
Ah. Ah.
I don't think so. You probably... Oh, we gotta move your head.
Close.
You gotta help. Yeah, can you not move your head?
Okay.
Yeah, no, not that. Here, you do it and then move your head to catch it.
Well.
Never mind, Advent boy.
I'm reindeer man.
No.
Hello, Governor.
Okay.
How you guys doing today? Oh yeah, it's me, by the way. Surprise! Surprise!
What other brown man would be
It's
in my
reindeer man. It's me. Surprise!
You nutball. Here, come here. That belongs to the dog.
It
And I
belongs to
don't
me
even
now.
think it even fits her because I don't know. Well, she's...
Aww.
Let me see.
Here she is, guys.
Hold on.
Good morning to you all. Masating abak mayong buntag. Magandang umaga sa lahat.
Yeah, see. By the way, that's her. It's really a
You're showing her
sweatshirt.
little reindeer thing. There you go.
We're full of the Christmas spirit. Who's got Christmas spirit? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Give her a kiss.
No.
Just
no.
come on.
No.
Come on.
No, I know
I
where that
cleaned
mouth's
I
going.
brushed your teeth this morning.
Lies. Lies.
I did.
Lies.
Mary, Dad doesn't want to kiss her. Give me a kiss.
Lies.
Thank you. I know. See? Told you I brushed your teeth. Gee whiz. No, I didn't. I'm just nasty.
wonder you've been sick.
Right? So, all right, Mary, how you feeling? Huh? Tell everybody good morning, Magandang Po. Today we're going to talk about holidays, what's going on in the Philippines. We're going to be discussing different things we've seen in the news. The Elliot Eastman thing is still going on. All of a
Elliot
sudden, he's
Eastman.
become the ultimate legend now in vloggers.
He is a legend now, yes.
Yes, he is now.
Yeah.
And also, there was like a full discussion all of a sudden after 2 months about him and what they were calling him like a big dummy and stuff about what he did and this and that. And it was like, wow, now you guys are talking about it. And I get it now that they're announcing all of this.
They don't even know squat, most of them.
So yeah, let me take that off because I know you don't want to keep it on. But you go down there and play with the kitty cat. Also, we were discussing that we just seen this article, which was crazy, by the way, that I've never seen anything like it in the world. It actually stated in the NCR area, starting now through Christmas, there is to be no announcements of major sales in the malls or stores to avoid traffic in that area. And it's like, wait a minute, isn't a large percentage like they don't have a lot of income and all of a sudden they've got to stop the announcement of mall sales to avoid traffic? It's a real thing. What do you
Here,
think?
anyway.
Right? Isn't that weird? So you can show up and see the sale at the mall, but they're not allowed to advertise or any big announcements of mall sales. So it really became something else. So it'll be holidays and maids equal broke and overworked. Could be the help. Could be us. Could be George working overtime on the help. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll discuss about maids. Have we considered getting one or help? Will guys consider getting domestic workers? Because we were saying that getting help here is way, way cheaper, but it's way harder to find somebody qualified unless you go like through the NCR area or certain areas. There are agencies you can hire that'll do all of it, background check, psychological training, and then they deliver them to you. But even them are a big fraction of the cost as they would be in the United States. And those usually come with contracts. I think they're 6 months to a year on some of them. We've looked into it. And at that point, when you do the 6 month, 12-month, there are stipulations. If you cancel early, where she'll be living, things. And so usually video interviews. But most of the kasambahay are usually within the family, usually within a friend's, usually passed down generational. What's the word? Am I using it? Generational?
Yeah.
And so, but we'll get into all that. And I have my tablet ready, so we're kind of off a reindeer boy here. What's going on your advent calendars? Can we see what's going on there?
Oh.
I got George. These came the other day. He's been opening them up. He has 2 advent calendars now.
Hey, today's the 10th, right?
Yes.
Oh, I missed a bunch.
That's because, first off, if you wasn't out running around with your friends.
So there's a Pokemon advent. There's Zubat. Zubat.
So, yes, did you show him the front of that? Yeah, he's got the Pokemon thing going on. And we're getting all ready for Christmas. We've already started giving each other gifts, so we'll probably be doing a live stream. I have to check.
What's
Usually we do
Ponto's,
one.
evolution? What's this one?
Nerd alert. Nerd alert. So today
it's
we're just
Muck.
going to have fun
But why is Muck
for the
blue?
most part.
It's supposed to be brown. But I guess it's a good thing they didn't turn him brown. But anyway.
Speaking of brown.
Then this one's like a trolley. Yeah, you guys know trolley? You know, the gummy bears? Yeah, that's what this is. So, yeah, I'm not going to do this because I have to look for it. The numbers aren't in sequential order to give it a challenge. But yeah, I have advent calendars, and yeah, because Heidi's really cute like that. Thank you, puppy.
Uh-huh. He got me buttery buns this morning.
Actually, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah,
He
that's
goes out every day and
buttered
gets...
buttered pandesal. Buttered pandesal.
Yes. Let us know about your experience if you guys have had housekeepers. A lot of the guys wind up getting the domestic helpers to help around the house. The others will get them to become the babysitter, like an all-in-one nanny. Is there a name for that too?
No, I mean it's the same really. The only difference between a yaya and a maid really is basically if they have the skills for it. Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So if you get one that has both, that's great. Because there's some people. I mean, let's talk about just people in general. There's some people who are just good with children, and there's some just horrible with children. And you get a maid. Some of them are really good with children. Some of them are horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I want to say a big shout out to Ted and Scott in the World's in the house. Two of our moderators are in there.
Hey Ted. Hey Scott.
Looks like MB was in the house first. Smile, be happy. Timothy Rogers. He'll go. I guess we can go through Sarah. Good morning. Me and Sarah have been paving the pound and the pavement and all that stuff in regards to this Elliot Eastman, because let me get into that real quick. You can, but should we jump into that or go through and say our highs first as kind of an open live? Huh?
I would go in.
Yeah, because everybody's in there saying their hellos and stuff, and we'll go through. All right, oh no,
that's not good.
That's not.
Yeah, let me go.
Take that off.
Take care of that. And
the cats somehow have my wallet on the floor
they
and the
got a hold
dog.
of her wallet. Yeah.
Right, and it's got money in it, and they'll push it under the bed, and then I'll blame George, and we'll be in that Tom and Jerry fight thing.
Oh no.
No, I don't know how they managed that. It must have been like on the actual bed or couch, and they actually knock it down, and they are busy beavers. Okay, Elliot Eastman. There was a full conversation about Elliot Eastman on the Expat forums in regards to, he opened his mouth and finally, got it or something situation. And some people see it in so many different lights. I've seen where it was covered by, Sarah had informed me, from a guy that's an attorney. They had a different outlook on the whole situation, but it's been covered in so many different lights. Okay. Me and George do not believe it was a kidnapping for money and ransom, but that's what they're really pointing to, that it was all about the money. And I just don't believe it was for ransom that went bad. I really don't. There were too many other things going on. Also, to mention the 14 lives he did, it was like he didn't want to turn off the camera. He knew they were coming. He warned for weeks and months that he was being threatened, yes. But these were threats just not to be kidnapped for money. These were like they were just going to get him, like there was something else going on. But the fact of his last days, he kept the camera on. And then that last day he kept it on for so many lives was really weird. Did you check to see about the missing lives and the stuff on Facebook too? Did it appear or? Yeah, there's been a lot of people.
Oh no, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, let me see. I'm going to take a look. That his live streams, that would not surprise me. His wife has his phone. He still has the ability. She has the ability to delete. Let me go take a look here. In all of his fame, he only made it to 5,000 subscribers. And then there were some other guys seen cover it that's new to the game.
I don't think so.
Fairly new to the game. He's under 1,000 subscribers. He was actually saying, I think his wife is Muslim and that, he was monetized but didn't make a lot of money. No, guys, he was not monetized. He didn't have the watch hours. He claimed that over and over again. So we keep hearing the news and other vloggers and other clippings on TikTok that he was a famous vlogger making his living at YouTube. And it just isn't
never
so.
Happened.
What never did happen. He never made a dime. So we'll make that clear. But this kidnapping for ransom, I just don't think there was a possibility for that. I mean, I admit some of them guys, out there trying to get their hustle on and trying to be like, even if it wasn't Abu Sayyaf and these were just wannabe thugs out there that were doing it, he clearly made statements that he didn't have any money. And he was broke, saying he was going home. He made that clear he was broke forever. Maybe that didn't matter to them, but why would they on the spot shoot him in the stomach? In the stomach was where they're now saying. So there's a press conference. We were going to break it down, but we're not going to replay like anymore. There's videos anytime soon. But now they're saying that he was shot in the stomach and in the leg. That was done on the spot. That's not somebody who said, hey, dude, you're not coming with me. Let me fight. They're saying there was a squabble there on the spot, and they would just do that to him twice?
No.
No. That's something else going on. And it's kind of like, I think people want to believe and point fingers to the Islamic rule down there and the tough guys down there. This is personal.
Yeah,
and
it's MDK.
There is some other situation going on, but it's amazing how you're getting 101 stories when the facts are there. It's
That's
so many different
things. They don't
things.
even have the facts right. Like, just the most basic, simple thing that he's a big vlogger and is monetized. Again, we have nothing against Eastman, but we followed him as far as we're concerned. He never made it as far as that, before even basically. Can he be monetized now? Yes, but it's too late. But
and even then, like some of his videos, you understand that those live streams get paid different than videos. A lot of his stuff was shorts that got the views. So anything that was a short, couple million views, you're going to get about $2 for it. And live streams don't usually pay out like the videos do. But even if you put all of his numbers together, he might have a $400 or $500 paycheck, maybe. And that's a big maybe.
That's after all of this.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's would be
after all this.
That's even if, because some of his videos,
before any of this happened, even if he was monetized, which he wasn't, even if he was monetized, he would make zero, really, because he didn't have anything. There's not enough views. There's not enough watch hours.
Yeah, because even the Philippine newspapers and some of the television shows were saying that he was making a good living, and I'm like, yeah, this never actually happened. So, but still something that's going on. What is it? They say they're at 10 people. I'm just taking a guess on how many they're saying have been arrested. There's been more.
Well, 10. I'm not even quite sure you can call it arrested, because they just basically, again, another cases of MDKs. Just oddly enough, they're alleged suspects just dropping like flies, and I mean literally. So that's another thing that's kind of sus, in my opinion. I mean, anybody who works on any case on any given manner, that's not normal. Even on extreme cases, as in people being taken, they don't opt.
Everybody has come out on the woodwork. I mean, TikTok is just flooded. Here's the thing. I don't know, Sarah, if you've seen them, but on TikTok, they're using the AI software to create things for him. So they're typing in his name, pasting some stuff, and it's extremely impersonal, like famous vlogger and well-loved Elliot Eastman, blah, blah, blah. And it's like he had 3-4 people in his live stream. And it's not that his family doesn't care, which still they've been on silent. One person that knows some of the family came through and said, thank you for loving Elliot. But that's it. It's still been a hush. And I guess maybe there's still a hush order to catch 50 more guys. You think it was meant to flush guys out just so they could use that as a reason to go in and use some bats on their heads? Oh, okay. Anyways, I don't want to disappear. It's holiday time, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna come get me.
They might.
Really?
They could.
Really? I'm just gonna sit down. That's gonna be the end of it. Maybe that's what happened to Elliot. Maybe Elliot just plopped down on the ground and refused to go, and they had to do it. They had to strong arm him. They just picked his scrawny butt up to him and took him. That's just it. If he tried to refuse, get a couple Filipinos on you, like me, be like King Kong trying to bat off, be like, what are you doing on me? Get off me, dude. Elliot, three of those little Filipinos could have lifted him up and took him right on out of there. So I don't understand the squabble at the last minute. But what they're saying over and over again in the newspaper is that in the boat, he had died. And at that point, like the rest of the world or anybody, you're not going to leave him in there for whatever distance they were going. They still had some ride, right? Even if they rode around the island or went off to the Sulu or wherever they were going, it doesn't matter. It would have took some time, right? Hour, half hour, hour, two. Why take them off the boat, take them and keep them, and then take them later and dump them? That was common sense from the very beginning. That's what they were going to do.
Yeah, okay. Just real quick, not to go deep into the Eastman thing because it is, but the other theory as far as a what's the word, the political correct word, basically, the Muslim activist theory. Okay, just so you guys know the reason why. Okay, my opinion. This is my opinion. It doesn't make sense because they did not go to the Sulu Islands. Actually, Heidi just mentioned it.
Mhm.
They did not. And it's not that far away. What I'm saying is, if I were from that faction, I would have just driven that boat straight across the pond and onto my island where all my people are and where all my defenses are. You know what I'm saying? But instead, somehow, for some weird reason, the activists are still on the same island or the same, you know what I'm saying? They're still on the same area. That does not make sense to me. If I were taking somebody of some importance and I know I'll be in hot water, people with, armed weaponry are going to go after me, I'm going to go to my island and hide there, and I would have some form of defense because I have my people with me. And when I say my people, these are armed factions. I'm going with the armed faction theory. Again, if that's an armed faction theory, wouldn't you go to the island where you belong, where your people are, where your armed people are to defend you? No. But instead, according to certain people, oh, it's the activists. They're no. You know why? Because they didn't go to their island. Who does that?
It
You know
says
what I'm saying?
here in a recent newspaper article, a kidnapping that had gone wrong is what they're saying. And it's a small newspaper called Politico. It says 4 have been charged for it. So it went through talking about how they had charged those 4 guys. The case could be upgraded now to include homicide if the prosecutors determine enough evidence, which they've already, this was dated yesterday. So they've already determined that. I mean, the Philippine news agency stated he's gone. So now I guess I don't know. And there's been a whole debate about no body, no crime, no evidence.
No,
the U.S. won't issue nothing.
Corpus delicti is a long. That
The
stopped a long
case
time ago.
could
guys.
be upgraded. Okay, we already informed the prosecutor of what we found. I'm sure that prosecutor's watching. What are you talking about? If they find sufficient evidence to amend the initial complaint, it will go from kidnapping and serious illegal detention to homicide. Well, here's the thing. They said one of the dudes on the boat seen it, and they have him in detention. Isn't this weird to you? This sounds like a cat and mouse game or something. Am I missing something? It's up to the prosecutor. It says Eastman, 26, was abducted from his home in Cebuco, Zamboanga del Norte by armed guys. And I won't let you know that's another thing. They keep over and over again repeating he lived in the Philippines for 5 months. No, Elliot Eastman has been in the Philippines for the most part of 2 years. He left to go back home for a little bit to actually do some work. He was a food delivery driver, and he came back, and that was at least 2 times. And one time he left, he went to go to a wedding, but for the most part, he had been back for more than 5 months. That was just what they were going by, was his passport stamp the last time he came in, but he's been in the Philippines for quite some time. Police said that he resisted his captors, and now they're officially saying he was shot in the leg and the abdomen. That means that he was gone probably 10 minutes out. He probably, when they noticed it, they just said, yeah, no, I'm not taking him just to
Lou,
hold him and pretend.
I don't know where you've been, but that's not how it is here. This is not Miami Vice. You don't have Coast Guard patrolling nonstop here.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, man.
Well, I mean, there's some, yeah.
Yeah, there's Coast Guard
Especially
boats.
in
It will
that
not be easy to
area.
go back to their home. No, man. It's one, it's not that far. Two, it's not like that.
He said that he later had died being
Hey, Michael, how you
transported,
doing?
and he had his body, and they said they dumped him at sea. So they said there was somebody in the boat that actually seen it. Despite the ongoing recovery efforts, the body is still remaining. Which brings us around to the point that at that time, within a 2-week period, there were 3 bodies that washed up in that area. The one that appeared to be, regardless of what people said, even the bottom of the guy's feet was white. He said there was no Filipino brown in this guy whatsoever. There was a wife that came forward and claimed the body, and then there was a big debate. Well, if that was him, they'd had a DNA and said so by now. Guys, you guys just don't know how the workings work down there, whether they would want that to be known or not, whether it was real or not. It's the Philippines. So all I got to say is wake up. You're still in a growing, what is the nation? I call it third world country. You guys can call it whatever you want.
Developing
nation.
country.
Well, first it's got to develop, please.
Well, the thing is, again, a lot of people don't understand the workings here in the
Call it a
Philippines.
government nation.
They really don't. And like, for instance, you have to pay attention to little nuances. Like for instance, for as a Westerners, you guys following this news story, sometimes it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, there's probably something wrong.
And I just think, like right now, here they are saying that it's now being looked at as an abduction for ransom. All of a sudden, there's just a clear pinpoint. No, they're feeding the people. They're feeding the people exactly. It would just be too much for their mind to think that it could have been anything else
Well, anyway,
than that it was about money, because that's what all the kidnappings, for the most part, besides political issues, had actually come about. It said that the witness said the night that he was abducted, he resisted and was shot. While on the motorized banca, they realized that he had passed away and then threw him in. Now, here it is clear. Police have ruled out that there was any love triangle. So
Yeah,
there
I
it takes
know
out
that.
the love
Yeah.
triangle thing. Saying the victim's Filipino wife had a previous marriage.
Mhm.
So there it is. So she was married. How? I'm not even gonna.
She can be married.
Well, I guess so. At that age, she still can.
She can be married. Like I said, it's
Very well possible, even if she was
especially if her
18.
boyfriend was within her age group.
Yes.
As Muslims,
Investigators
yes.
believe the suspect initially targeted Eastman for the ransom, but they abandoned it because of him passing. So interesting. So I don't know. Well, love triangle. But here's the thing we keep talking about. It doesn't matter at a point of whether the family knew or not. That was the other thing. And even if the family did know, even if the family did know, they would definitely, whatever information, or if they recognized the people, they wouldn't have spoke anyways, even, which is scary at the same time. So, but very, very sad. But like before, while this was all happening, all these newspapers, all these bigger channels, like there's some really big channels covering this now. They now are officially coming out, and we understand. So interesting. Even somebody forwarded an old blogger's YouTube. There's People Magazine yesterday. So yeah, I'm just looking for the article, but basically there were just a lot of opinions on.
Well, the problem I have with these newer articles is they're very loosely based on what they found on the surface level. Again, most of it is incorrect, and I'm talking about blatantly incorrect. Like again, not
Oh
picking on
wow.
Eastman, famous vlogger. It's like when the moment they like somebody says what are you showing?
Well, this is a woman living in America saying this Elliot Eastman, I think he was a YouTuber and vlogger and a passport brother as well. Here's how I'm feeling. If men feel they need to leave America to find a woman outside the US, then that's on them again. People should just be aware. Here's the thing. I don't think he was young enough and everything else. I don't think it had anything. This is just somebody 100% trying to climb
Well,
on board on this passport brother and
yeah,
these, what do you call them? What do they call those women that are all independent, the ones shaving their heads? Somebody sent me
talking
that the
about
other,
SJWs,
whatever it is, that's not
social
me.
justice warriors.
Or the independent women or the ones that are just whatever. But this is one of them talking about, passport brothers just have to go over because they can't find no women and blah 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 blah. So here we are, passport, um,
Well,
passport.
in a way, she's correct. I mean, if you go out of the country and go find yourself a woman and do exactly what Eastman says, it's on you because it is on
Well,
him.
that part is, but
That
I
part I
don't
agree.
think.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
agree
I
on
don't
what
think.
happened to him. However,
I just watched an entire.
again, despite all the warnings,
I just seen an entire thing on the passport brother movement, and I really believe it's what it is. There are women are women all over the world, but women have become more unfeminine and more independent and very, I need a six pack, six figures, and this. And I'm not saying it's everybody, but the new generation. So to me, anybody under the age of 35 has just got some sort of attitude, and I get it that they're not going to be all domesticated. They don't have to settle down and do this, and that. But the guys do go to other places where their wallet fits, for one. Two, the women are prettier, more feminine, and they can still have kids and start a new life. And all these different things happen. You okay? So, but anyway, so yeah, everybody's on board on this right now. So, but, so,
yeah.
yeah, so, um, I don't know where you want to go. I'd say we go through.
No.
Oh, before you go into the
Yeah.
comments. Well, I mean, I really don't have anything. We were on to the domestic. I'm talking about on. I had there it is. I don't have anything left here. Is what I was saying on. Right. So dealing with the maids, beings, we're going to move on to that before we get into the comments. Excuse me for. You have to determine if you're going to have your domestic housekeepers live in or out. That's going to make a difference on the cost. Yeah, here's 1 second, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the comments. Easiest way, this is kind of.
Hey, MB, hello, Philippine Antics. Hey, smile and be happy. Good morning, Timothy from Ohio. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Scott's with us today. Scott World. Hey, Heidi and George. Racer X. Hey, Racer X. Hi, Heidi and George, South Carolina house. There you go. Ted says reindeer bedroom games. Oh,
Yeah, we can just all.
that's a different kind of ring toss there, buddy. Um,
First, you got to have something to toss the ring on.
Right. California Bear. Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Alan retired in the Philippines says happy holidays or happy holidays. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Learning to Live says good evening, everyone. Okay.
Yeah, we can just go back into the specs that we
That
have.
we're gonna answer that real quick later on, okay?
Mm,
Or unless you want me to answer it now.
I would just go ahead and answer it now.
Okay. Is a housekeeper with benefits a thing in the Philippines? Fact or fiction? Fiction. The end. Okay. That's the short story. The long story is don't do it. Does it happen? Yes. Do people normally do it? No, it's not normal. It's not right.
No, not
It's
the
not
stories you hear on
normal.
other
It's
channels.
you do that, it's drama island, and I'm talking about big drama. I'm talking about the whole neighborhood knows it.
Yeah.
There is okay. Here's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. Helpers or maids or katulongs or kasambahay have a network. You F with one, the whole freaking kasambahay gang knows about it. So you sleep with one, the whole kasambahay knows about it. So if you sleep with one, it better be real, like you're gonna marry them and everything else. No, it's not a thing. So get that little fantasy off your heads. And unfortunately, guys, it's not a real thing. It's a myth.
Right. And on that note, whether they're living in or out, something you'd have to be more worried about, which isn't a myth, is like you have to clear the house out. Like, got to put your money up, got to put your wallet, anything laying around of value. I'd make sure you have cameras in and out of the house for your own protection, especially as a younger man or a man, because they can also turn around and say when you don't up a raise or do something, they can blame you for it. So you want to have for your own protection. I have to go to that.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, always have cameras inside your house. We do. We have 2 cameras in the house. Although, I mean, I get it. Most of the time they get unused. Most of the time, the only reason why most of the time they get used if we're like me and Heidi decide to go to the mall and we want to check up on the dogs and cats, that kind of deal. But that's only a secondary purpose. The real purpose is, of course, security. Now, the cameras may not necessarily be there to spy on your kasambahay or your maid or katulong or anything like that. But remember, most thefts or most wrongdoings are done by the help, by the employees. I mean, they don't have those. Pay attention. If you go to McDonald's, most of the time, if you pay attention where those cameras are pointed, they're not pointed at the door. They're pointed at the freaking cashier. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is always protect yourself. For example, remember what we just said earlier that you don't sleep with the help. If by chance you sleep with the help, that could be a lawsuit. Like she could say, "Oh, he forced me to do it." If you don't have a camera to prove it didn't happen that way, you're pretty much in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So just CYA. You know what I mean? Cover your A. So that's the point being. Always have cameras. It's never a bad idea. No, and that's another thing again, guys. Even if let's say your maid is very attractive and you're attracted to her and it seems like she's attracted to you and then you guys do the thing, it doesn't mean she can't turn things around and accuse you of forcing yourself into her, you know what I mean, that kind of deal. Well, that's different too. He married
true.
her. But most of these guys think that they can just you know
No, that's true.
sleep with the maid. No, that's not how it works. Never has been.
Yeah.
Like I said, unless you plan to marry them, go all the way. Yes, I knew about Bud Brown. I wasn't going to mention him because it was kind of like people misconstrue things that way. Curse Duran, hello gang. Good morning from Zamboanga. You see, Angelo also says all families are connected. Yes, they are. Alan says nobody, no facts. Witness could Well, this is also true too. This is again something I'm not denying. Um, not necessarily no body, no facts. Again, corpus delicti. Look it up. They stopped doing this, I think, in the 70s. In the before the 70s and the 60s, you if no body, no crime. After that, in the 70s, they started yeah, it stopped being a thing. That's my point. So,
And I
um,
think they're safe on the love triangle thing, but it doesn't mean nothing didn't happen internal or neighbors or somebody in that area. Yeah, they're just saying that it had nothing to do with her ex. Which, so that just officiated that she was married. So she was really extremely young because it showed she was in high school while they were together in the beginning.
right.
So she must have taken on somebody, but let's put the theory to test that we heard. I believe Sarah had mentioned that
Hey, sweetheart.
her husband actually could have been there. One of the brothers, cousins, or guys running around could have been. And maybe she was still married to him. If it was an Islamic marriage, maybe the Islamic marriage to him was just a matter of one dropped, one. Who knows, guys? Anything's possible. It'd just be easier to feed the world the statement of, which I don't know why, by saying that, that just hurts tourism more.
Well, the problem, like I said, we have with some of these statements made are they sound like cookie cutter statements. Again, if you analyze Elliot, Elliot's life here in the Philippines, I'm not talking about out elsewhere because we don't know nothing about. But here in the Philippines, if you analyze his life, it doesn't. A lot of things don't fit the stories that they feed us. Um, Lou says, despite the warnings, people keep smoking and drinking, but that's a little different when they're saying, "Hey, if you don't leave, you might disappear." Big difference between the two there, buddy. Um,
Yeah, that's insane. And he knew. I mean, for like weeks and months and weeks and months, he must have said 2 dozen times, "I'm going to be kidnapped. I'm going to be taken." It's just still the strangest thing to this day that
yeah,
I even think
and like I
about.
said, there are places here in the Philippines where locals will tell you, "Don't go past this
It,
area." That kind of
it's
listen,
unlike
listen.
anything, any kidnapping that's happened in the world. When did anybody 2 months or so in advance say, "I'm going to be kidnapped right through that hole"? I mean, or "I'm going to be taken right through here, this and that." It just, it's odd. What person that has actually made the announcement so much so, it just seemed like he had the whole thing set up. It was,
It did seem that way. It says 4B movement are the ones shaving their heads.
that's the ones I was talking about. Yeah, that's so it appears could be where this one actually is falling in. Oh, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, blah blah blah. No, 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 no. There's a difference, like me being a loudmouth and all that, but I'm still domesticated and I can still cook a mean lasagna, barbecue ribs, and sex you up like a kitten and feed you biscuits and gravy at the same time. But all that movement is just too much.
Why
Too
would I
much.
get a girlfriend who would act like man can't cook, can't
Yes,
clean?
he's talking about, yeah, no,
Yeah, I know.
gotcha. No, at least if she's going to be, at least she's going to have some skills, right, babe? In other words, if I was in that full movement of not cooking, we wouldn't even be together.
Oh no!
I might be a little obnoxious, loudmouth, and stand my ground,
No,
but I'm
if a woman doesn't
still
cook, I'm not
like
gonna be with her.
1950s in the back of my head. No,
I
I cook,
mean,
clean.
if a woman can't cook, I'm not gonna be with her. I'm not gonna spend time with her.
He's serious, man.
No, I'm serious, and I don't mean it in a judgmental way. That says a lot about that person. That means that person doesn't even care enough to take care of themselves.
I got mad
You know what I'm
skills
saying?
all the
If
way
they don't
around.
care enough to take care of themselves, who would you expect them to take care of them? They expect you to take care of them.
Yeah.
Forget they're going to take care of you. Forget that part. But
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to take care of them hand and foot if they can't cook and clean.
Yeah.
That just tells you something about that person.
No, I mean, a lot of people believe that, it's kind of like total polar opposite. Like you have expectations of a wife as I do a husband, but it's, that's all I can say. is we, meet up in the middle. A lot of people think it's just me running the entire show, your life, and that you don't have anything going on. But it takes a real man to be with me in the same thing. It takes a real woman and somebody to actually be with George. It's, yeah. So, but yeah, that movement, I got it. Hey,
Sarah
Pablo.
says, Carisha wears 2 rings, 1 on each hand.
I seen that, Sarah. I seen at some point where I thought he did. So she does have.
Well,
I don't know.
that could be anything, though. I mean, I know a lot of girls who would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, both here in the Philippines and the U.S., I know a lot of girls who wear rings on both ring fingers, so it's not surprised. LG says, I wonder if I offer my maid 5K extra for 1 hour extracurricular activity, business transaction, would she bite?
It depends on her.
Depends if you want her to bite.
Yeah, because right now go into the prices. We know that in this area and San Fernando and a couple other areas, somewhere between 350 to 500 pesos a day can get you just about everything. But all of it's going to change on neighborhoods, where they come from, exactly what they're doing. Are they doing extras? Are they living in, out? What type of food allowance there are? Let's before we go any further through this, we're going to show a domestic video because this is what kind of triggered us to cover this, of the OFW overseas Philippine workers that go over and they work in Hong Kong. Some of the conditions are just actually crazy. So we'll go ahead and show it. Let you guys see this real quick. This is in Hong Kong.
Oh, December, a month of hardship and battlegrounds, joy in life, a tangled web of hope and fear. I dedicate this song to all you brothers taking long trips to the Philippines from all around the world, and your girl gets this message.
This woman here only has 2 weeks. Her employer let her go, and the conditions were ridiculous. So here in a minute, you'll hear what basically happens. And they don't enforce it over there, kind of like here. There are people being mistreated here by foreigners. And
a client of ours named Chris recalled her first day in her employer's home when she was allocated the toilet as her private room. During the same night, the employer brought her food and placed it in her allotted toilet room. On that day, the employer tried to justify that the toilet was not frequently used since they had another toilet in the house, even though the employer informed her that the toilet was not used, the children would frequently use it. Another client sleeps on the floor in a storage room with an installed CCTV directed to the spots where she sleeps, thereby limiting her privacy. Even though the worker complained, the employer did not remove them. Alongside household chores, another client, Lilybeth, was required to take care of the employer's mother. Lilybeth shared a room with the elderly to ensure that the elderly would be attended to whenever needed. Instead of being provided with a normal bed, she was given a thin mattress to use on the floor. Placed beside the elderly's bed, some domestic helpers are sharing the room with an adult
with other
of the
males,
opposite sex.
which is against the rules.
This is the case with Rachel, a domestic worker who has worked in Hong Kong for a while. After changing her employer, she was required to share her room with 2 male children aged 12 and 10.
Against the rules.
The room had a bunk bed. She was allocated the top of the bed as her sleeping area. The employer improvised the top bed by putting a tent on top to make it private. Sometimes her male employer would sleep through the night on the lower bed with a child.
Which is wrong, and how there ends up with extra kids. In other words, not all the time, the domestic workers end up pregnant.
Workers can choose to terminate a contract early, but those who do quit are left with only 2 weeks to scramble to find another job before they are forced to leave the city.
Okay. So on this story, this woman is scrambling before they send her back to the Philippines. And when these OFWs go overseas, besides the domestic workers, they're under the contracts, visas, and all that. And often very often, especially in Middle Eastern countries, they are really mistreated. Shoved into rooms. Like I've seen these
Especially
rooms.
Middle Eastern countries.
Like
Yes.
they'll put 10 workers into one room, and then most of these workers send all their money back to the Philippines, like almost all of it. We've seen it. But with the housekeepers, there in Hong Kong, they've got 2 weeks. Like that one woman needs that money. Her entire family, cousins, uncles, grandmother, everybody's depending on that money. So it's very, very sad. Now, the internal domestic people here, I see where LG was talking about. He hears that the maids are getting paid 5,000 pesos a month. That's probably about right if they're living in. A lot of them are being paid little to nothing, but I've heard as much as 5,000 a week. 20,000 live in because they want to make sure they're taken care of. They're part of family, which still would be a bargain. If you had somebody at $100 a week or less now with the exchange, that would be a bargain to have somebody come in and cook, clean, do your laundry, and actually do your shopping. They have them do everything. And the rules actually state that you have to give them 8 hours off a day in a 24-hour period, like you said, to rest. And some of them will actually live up to that. They'll make them do nothing but actual work. And let's see, there was something else I had. What else? What did we learn about that today? You have to pay into their Paggy Big and their SS, and a lot of them are giving. I don't think the 12th month, or is it the 13th month? It's called the 13th month. I don't know if that's part of the contracts, but basically, yes. I think that was the. Let's see. I think that's the basic. Okay, so the current NCR right now is the new wage is 6,000 a month. They have to pay that. So are they still paying 5? It's possible, yes. The 13th of the month, Paggy Big and all of that. So that is still only 100 a month. So when I hear those Christmas sales at the mall itself, which is the most expensive place to shop, it's like something that I still can't figure is where all these people are getting this money. You see all these people spending the money in the malls, all the expensive places we show up to that aren't cheap. By the time we get out of some of those restaurants, we're out, 2,000 pesos? You're just like, how? Like that barbecue place, the ribs itself at the Orange Bucket was 1,100 pesos. So it's like, who are these people? So it's makes you wonder. The same with some of the salons. They're having these drips done for 2,000 pesos. They're getting nails, whitening treatments, and some of them aren't cheap. Some of those things I looked into were 5,000, 8,000, 12,000. And I'm like, yeah, not us. Definitely not us. And we're not exactly, dirt broke either, but makes you wonder. Good morning, Ruby. So.
Yeah.
Discerning Dash, you are new to the channel, or you've changed your name. I'm not sure which, but
I've heard Discerning Dash before.
Okay, so
but obviously not because you're there.
Yeah, we can actually see.
There are comments that YouTube automatically blocks, just so you
Correct.
guys know that we have no control over. And also be aware
It's
that
not in here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And don't even.
Yeah, you said okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they'll actually hold them from the start. We don't see it here. We're not even seeing it on StreamYard, and StreamYard will show everything. That's the first one we've seen here. Yeah. But we have considered. We've talked about this before. We have considered housekeeper. It's going to be a matter of finding the right one for your fit, and understand a lot of them are going to need training. I mean, training on top of training. They're not going to come in.
Well, those of you who haven't had any help from the U.S., I'm talking about maid service in the U.S. Even maid services, even specifically cleaning services, some of them do require training.
No, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys have to.
Yeah.
You have to kind of like meet up. So, like when we had somebody come to our place in the United States to clean the house, same thing. I only want you to use this cleaner. Please don't use bleach in the shower because the cats go in there all the time. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to be overly specific. Don't assume they know what you know.
Right.
Especially your Westerner.
Oh man, I did that too. I was like, I just assumed this, and that, but sometimes you have to, or vice versa. It's
And I'm not talking down on the Filipino maids by any means, but you have to remember culture does play a lot of part in things like that, cleaning, what to do, what not to do, etiquette, that kind of deal. Oh, why is she vacuuming? Can't she see I'm watching TV? That kind of deals. It's little nuances that some people
patience, yeah.
don't care about, and some people do.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, and
Sure.
everybody's way of cleaning is different.
Yes. Yes, I mean, here's the thing. Some only want to clean with vinegar and water or just water, or you have
Correct.
to actually at
Correct.
home, that's what they're going to do. So you have to have a lot of patience, which is something that I'm really learning. We've had somebody 3 times in the last couple years, or close to 4. We had a couple at the other apartment. We had somebody come in and do a deep cleaning. We called a professional. When we called the professional, they wanted 3 to 5,000 pesos, depending on how many people they sent. And because we had a second level, which really didn't need to be touched, but that was of what they call a full cleaning. That's not steaming. That's not scrubbing like tiles to get the grout dirt out. No, this was a basic. I'm like, whoa, that's US price there. I'm not going to. We actually had to tell them, no, we're not paying you $100 to come for, and I think that was limited time to actually come in and clean. The other ones, we went ahead and paid them 500 pesos to come in. But here's the thing. She was new at what she was doing, and she just sat there and did dishes for 3 hours. Like, she organized the plastic. We've talked about this story. And she sat in the back dirty kitchen, and for me, it was frustrating because I just got here. It was still during the pandemic, correct? So there was just so much frustration, and I wasn't getting out all the time. And we brought her in a second time, same thing. By the time hours had went by, I said, babe, just tell her. And plus I had to have George translate. I just got frustrated because I just said, have her mop and sweep, because at some point she was trying to clean the walls versus doing any other work. So I guess she was trying her best, and you'd have to understand that's what's actually going
Well,
on.
she's doing what she knows, but remember, what she knows may be limited. And again, not saying talking down to them. I'm just talking about, like, as far as what you expect, expectations, and what they're expected to do are 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? You have to train them to meet your expectations. Also, be aware that whatever you do not give your cleaners access to muriatic acid.
Oh yeah, certain
Okay.
things, yeah.
Muriatic acid is a very common cleaner here.
Which they use as a
However,
shortcut.
I extremely suggest, that you do not allow them have access to it. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, okay, obviously it's an acid, a very strong one. Can't have it touch your clothes, touch anything. It will melt anything pretty much, except even eventually, if you pour it on ceramic tile, it'll eventually eat through it eventually. But anyway, point being is, Filipinos love to use that stuff and love to use it on anything, and even things they're not allowed to. For example, if you clean grout with it, guess what happens to the grout? Poof, like magic, gone. And guess what? They do it. They use muriatic acid to clean
Yeah,
grout.
that's what happened in our bathroom and the previous bathroom.
Not in
Well-
our. It was the previous.
Well, they have on this one. That's
tenants.
why it's all eaten up.
I know it's the previous tenants, not in our watch. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but the first person that cleaned it was a husband and wife team, and he cleaned the bathroom, everything with acid.
No,
Remember, he had to close
no.
the door.
No, he cleaned the toilet.
Oh, I thought he used that in the.
No, he
Okay.
told me, I'm going to use this on the.
Okay,
No,
I
no.
didn't know. Well,
You
maybe
can
I
use
don't
it on the
speak-
toilet, but even then, I would use it sparingly. Yeah, but no. It was very specific because he talked to me about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, babe, he's really smart. He knows what he's doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how far up you
Mr.
were.
McLevin says, got to train them to do things the way you like things clean. Correct. You have to. I mean, what you want and what other people want are different, and what they've been used to are different too. So, Ruby says, I have a cleaning lady, Now, this is a very interesting thing because this is a real thing.
Hey, Ruby.
Ruby says, I have a cleaning lady on weekends. I pay her 750 pesos a day. Now, specifically because transportation expenses, her transport on average is 240 a day. So it's 750 a day plus transportation expenses. Now, transportation is depends on how you guys talk. She's paying 750.
Well, and she said plus that, so yeah, $20
So it's
a
1,000.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
which is really well.
yeah,
So
no, that's really well. Transportation again. Do you have to pay for it? It depends on how you hired them. Upon hiring in, that's between you two whether you pay for transport or not.
it's recommended that you take care of your
Right.
workers.
Now, food. It is customary to feed them, yes. Um,
hmm
you don't have to. They're not gonna complain, maybe.
And this,
But it's customary. Put it this way. SM employees do get it's like Mexico. Some of you may not be aware of this. In Mexico and the Philippines, you get a food allowance aside your paycheck. So let's say I work for SM, I get a separate check
yeah, they had like
for
it's
food.
almost like a
Yeah.
food stamp
Yeah,
card
in Mexico, yeah, they give you right, like a debit card just for food,
that the
separate from your
employer
paycheck.
usually adds on.
Correct. Here, that's the way the Philippines work. So it's customary that you feed the people, just so you guys know.
Right. So where I was at the 5,000 pesos, that'd be about what she's paying out. You know, give them the weekend off. Now here's the thing: at those wages, paying 20,000, if they're living in and they're using internet and you've got them a private room and you're doing all these extra things and they're eating there all the time, some of them have kids with them, then the wages might change some, but most expats can afford to go ahead and pay them that. So if they're living in all the time and they're doing multiple things, like a lot of these guys have them as a babysitter and they're doing everything. I mean, so they're from shopping to laundry to everything. They work, you know, and give them 1 or 2 days off a week. Then yeah, that would be, yeah. So that's about right. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, no. I was just thinking of. Discern Dash actually says this is actually interesting. Just don't get a young hot maid. They don't know anything, and just on their phones. Hire an old maid, preferably in 30s, and they're willing to work. Also, no problems on with your woman. Now, there's some truth to this. I'm not saying
No, there is a lot of
yeah,
truth.
I'm not saying all younger women or young attractive women that are maids are all like this,
That it is
but
true.
on average, yes, there's you know there's this old saying that oh she's cute and she knows it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. Younger women, they're not stupid. They know if they're attractive or not, and they know what they can get away with and what they can't,
No, the
and they
phone's
will
a real
push it.
thing.
They will push it. So there is truth to this, unfortunately. Yes.
That was like when we were thinking about hiring somebody in and we thought about it on and off. I said, well, maybe we should just, you know, put in the advertisement or if we hang a sign outside that they get free internet service while they're here. And George goes, yeah, but
No.
then they'll just sit here on their
They'll
phone if
be
you
just
let
on
them
their
hook up to
phone.
the internet. So,
Um,
you know, but I was like, yeah, maybe just during lunch or something because we discussed about that. But the problem is fitting into people's schedule because that's another thing. You either have them there all the time, but then you lose so much privacy. And remember, if they're living in with you, and this does happen quite often, of course, you can't deny their family being over there. And with family being big in the Philippines, they're not all of them are living out in the province. They could be, if you're in the NCR area or Angel City and a bunch of their families here, then you'll have additional people at the house, which means you would have to have more food if they're around because you can't sit there and say, hey, put that bottle of water down, people. It just becomes something you have to be totally open to and adjust to. No, it's a true. Put that beer down, old man, before I break your fingers.
no, I'm laughing because usually most maids or service workers don't live in the city, but in the perimeter of the city where it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, whether it's living or not for us, with us doing live streams several times and editing and me and George almost have total separate hours. Like George will stay up to the wee hours, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then he sleeps sometimes. If it's not a live stream, it's 11 or noon or something, because it's just the hours. He's a gamer, and we got multiple channels, guys. And so it's like, and then I'm up at like 5 a.m. It's just me. But then by 7, 8 o'clock, I'm dropping down to watch a few of my shows, and that's it. So with the different hours, it really is hard. And although it's cheap, and even in our budget, we can afford it, it's a matter of, for me, the privacy, and it's just there's too much going on. I mean, the jealousy bug and all of that, and worrying whether she's old or young, I'm over that. It's just a matter of getting somebody that can and meet the hours, and then reliable. That would be the other thing.
Yeah, they need to show up.
That's it. And so there has been suggestions. I've talked to people. The suggestion is, and we've discussed it, I'm like, oh, well, just pay them daily, and the average person says you should either pay them monthly or weekly.
Pay them daily if possible. Yes.
Oh, I thought you said monthly, and other people said you pay them. The domestic workers are saying they were getting paid once a month. The other ones were weekly.
Well, either way, you pay them after, not before.
Oh, geez, we had that before.
Never pay for a month in advance, ever, or the day in advance, ever.
Mm-hmm. We had one person that went to lunch, came back and said there was a problem, and they were asking us for half their wages. Remember that?
Oh, that's a common scam, guys.
And then they said that they would be back or something, and we refused. We're like,
here's
no, you're
the
not
story.
completing the job. You're not.
It's a very generic story. You have somebody working for you. Okay, this is how much you're getting paid. So they show up for work and they do your work. Right before lunch, they say, "Oh, somebody, something happened. Have to go to the hospital because of my something." Fact. This is a very, very cookie cutter story. They always tell you the story,
some lazy
and then they'll
Filipinos,
tell
I'm
you,
sorry.
"I need to
Like
pay.
a lazy American.
I need to pay the hospital bill. Can I get my day's pay?"
I don't think anybody's going to deny that.
That's a very generic story. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. It pulls on your heartstrings. Oh, my mom is in the hospital.
No, we don't anymore.
Trust me, this is
They
a
tried
story.
that on us once. The painting guy.
You talk to any Filipino, sit down on them, and you start telling the story. They'll be like, "Oh, yeah," and then they want the money in advance, right? And then their mom's in the hospital. They'll finish the story for you. They already know where you're getting at. Like, yeah, this is a common story. It's a scam. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, and a lot of expats don't learn, because we see a lot of posts on Facebook looking for maids. They have certain criteria, like weight, height, that kind of deal.
You're gonna get what you get when you ask for all of that. So if you might as well just get a date off of Facebook, or you might as well go down and go not to bar find a girl. You might as well go on the outskirts and pick somebody up for 1,000 pesos than to sit there and deal with that, because they're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to.
Like Mr. McLovin says, hire an attractive maid. Don't do that. That is something you don't do. That's just.
Oh, hiring an unattractive maid?
Yeah, that's why I said don't do that.
Oh yeah.
The posting and qualification.
It's weird. Sometimes I think on Reddit and was it Quora or any of them, I think, or the Facebook groups, I really think, or there's expat pages, on the web, is that some of their stories, sometimes I believe them, and then sometimes I'm like, they gotta be making this up. And George goes, there's no possible way that somebody would be like that. I think they're doing that just to get people to comment, to kick the algorithm, but it's still, some of the stuff is so unbelievable. And, today's live was almost going to be about that, about people believing certain things on YouTube and the internet, how the internet's ruined traveling here. It's nice to know in advance. But if you think about, if you'd have came here in the 90s, pre-Pinatubo and all that stuff, you'd have just come here and learned on your own. Instead, now you got 101 know-it-all dumbass vloggers that are giving so much misinformation, and sometimes they misdirect you just to get you in to watch their videos. And you guys keep falling for it. I mean, it's amazing when I see some of the stupidest stuff out there, and it's just like right in front of people's faces, whether it comes from these Filipinas that are putting this stuff out and it's a repeat, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know that, or okay, and I'm like, okay, but there's so much misinformation, there's a flood of information, like I was talking about on the Elliot Eastman. The whole floodgates open, and now there's 101 stories, and now he's a legend that was kidnapped only for money, and there was no other possibility of any other story, and he was a legend. But things changed so much about the Philippines, and understand most guys will never even make it here. Most of these guys are guys that come into these rooms, which are amazing, have never even made it to the Philippines. And some of them doing the YouTube channels have never been in the Philippines that are telling these stories, or, like these automated ones. Sorry. A lot of unless they're providing up-to-date footage and not scrolling through, old footage, or dating sites seems to be the recent thing, or other things. They're just reading other people's stuff or getting stuff and putting it out. So so much misinformation.
Now, let's talk about the maids again, because this is a really important topic, because a lot of people don't understand. Now,
hey, Victor,
there's 3 sides of the coin. Okay, you have 3 sides of the coin. You have this side, and this, and this side. What I'm getting at is, okay, don't do this. Don't yell, don't point, don't berate your help like you would a Westerner.
Yeah.
Filipinos are onion skin, but at sibuyas, they cannot take it. Okay. If you do that, odds are they'll quit on you on the spot, or never show up the next day, or ever again.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, we're talking like the littlest things.
And not only that, they'll talk shit about you for the entire barangay. So don't do that. Okay. Now,
well, that, or the biggest thing that could happen is they could just go and report you, and the next thing you know,
right.
I mean,
and then whatever comes out of that comes out of that. So don't do that part.
Yeah.
Now the other side. See that happy face?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do not be nice to them too much.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a sign of weakness when it comes to help.
Right. It was like that in Mexico.
not-
They'll take advantage of it.
Yes,
They'll
they
do less
they
work.
will take advantage of you. They will. It is a sign of weakness if you're too nice. You just, okay. So don't be too nice. Okay. Don't try to do things for them. Don't try to help them. Help them only if they really need it, but don't try to help on little stuff. It is a sign of weakness. Okay. I know. Trust me, this is really hard for me to do, and I'm talking about me here. Okay. But point being is, you can't be that way either. They will take advantage of you. Now,
Maybe like Ruby.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ruby. Ruby says in here she does their breakfast, morning tea, lunch, and afternoon tea also provided. I'm just joking.
Now-
but no, that is very nice.
Now this is the side what I was trying to tell you. This is where you have to be. You can't be nasty. You can't be nice. You have to be stern, and that's it.
Why can't you be like that with me?
You just have to be. You have to treat your help like they're employees. Period. No
That's
more,
hard.
no less. They're not your friends. They're there to work. Don't
Although
let them
there
fool
is
you.
there is
They're
a
there to work.
yeah.
If there's no money, they won't be there for you.
And here's the hard thing for me. Even knowing at $20 a day, I still feel that I shouldn't ask him to do a whole bunch. I told George that. I was like, because 500 pesos to have him come in, and we only had him come in for a couple hours back in the day. And it's like George says, he goes, no, that's more than a fair wage for them to come in. I said, yeah, but it's only like $9 or $10. I said, I feel like we're ripping them off. And with the way I felt like that, you feel that you don't want them to do a bunch, but it's really hard for me to separate knowing
Right.
what the dollar means to me. Now, 4 to 4 years later, now I'm like, wow, that is a lot of money in Filipino money. Just because you're getting the American dollar that you've earned doesn't mean, you still have to treat it like you're paying that wage, even if it does seem less. It's hard. It's hard to get them,
Yeah, and then there's the other thing. Try not to give them keys or any other access to your house. aka don't have keys to the front gate, to your front door, that kind of deal.
Unless they're living.
Unless they're, actually living with you, there is no need for that. You're not that lazy enough to let them in. 2 reasons. One,
Does everybody,
when
though,
you
if
let
they
them
live
in, you know what they're walking in with. When you let them out, you know what they're walking out with.
Right. So if you guys decide to go out and do something in dinner or something, that's another problem. Yeah. If you leaving them to lock the house and leave with, yeah, that's
Well, and even not just that. I'm talking about like just day to day. They can be just picking up stuff left and right, and you don't even know it.
yeah. Ruby said maintain an employer-employee relationship.
Correct. You have to be stern. You have to be. They're not your friends.
And I suggest you provide the cleaning.
They will be nice to you.
You don't
and
let
they
them
will,
bring them in.
Yeah,
or...
they will tell you what you want to hear. Because remember, they are your employees. They're not your friends, guys. I mean, hate to break it to you, but that's how it is. Now, eventually, will that grow? Yeah, of course. That's how a long family relationship happens, as far as that the generational thing, like, oh, okay, oh, here's my daughter, I'm too old, she wants to work for you, that kind of deal, then it comes to play, because you've already built a relationship, you know what I'm saying? So, I get it. Now,
Sorry. You okay?
yeah.
Yes.
On our first day, I had to show how I want things done. Next day, we gave her a list. Always make a list. Order what things you need to be done on that day. Yes, always make a list, and if possible, put it up. Like, make a sign, print it out, put it up as a reminder. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs a list, and sometimes people forget.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just never got in half of the
Especially
stuff even
new
done.
employees, you have to feed the dogs this time, you have to, do this, that kind of deal. And it's easy to lose track of time when you're busy, trust me. Blue says, I would like to help a single mom with work with good pay. Ruby says, we provide all the cleaning products to use. Normally, this is yes. Normally, yes. You do provide all the cleaning products, yes.
Yeah.
However, again, the muriatic acid thing,
Or letting them choose.
sometimes
cut them out.
sometimes it's your house. I don't know if you use it or not, but sometimes they bring it with them. Again, just be careful. Angelo says, nasty eating near a toilet, correct? Yeah, unfortunately that's done to a lot of Filipinos, especially abroad, especially in Middle Eastern countries. They usually really mistreated over there, and usually that's when they get abused in many different ways, in every way. Yeah. Ruby says breakfast, morning tea, lunch, and afternoon tea, all provided. Well, she breakfast is a little social there. Socialada. Breakfast, morning tea. The reason why I say that, she's drink us. Would you like to have a cup of tea? In the Philippines, of course, they always say kape. They want coffee. Kape.
The kids want the coffee.
Ruby says, if you look after your clean lady, she'll be loyal to you. Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Discerning Dash says, it's not you, Heidi. That's the problem with the jealousy. Some women. Okay, now
That's true.
will flirt with the men. Not only that, even if
molest the master, you mean?
No.
No, it's true though.
That's another thing. It may not even be.
You shouldn't trust.
You may not have done anything wrong. Your wife or partner may have not done anything wrong. Or if you're single, you may not have done anything wrong, but next thing you know, there's this guy running after you because somehow he thinks you're sleeping with his girl that works for you. All he has to do is think it. Doesn't mean there's any facts to it.
Well, no, he's just saying some women will flirt
No, I
with
know that. I know that.
your husband in the house anyways. They think they can take advantage the other way. Ask for money, blackmail, any of the above can happen if you start sleeping with them, especially if they get themselves impregnated, and it has happened. So,
yeah. Victor C said, "What about lingerie maid service?" Right?
We start that starting in January. It's Heidi Does Houses.
Yeah, Ruby says personal referral is important when it comes to
It's a real thing.
maid or cleaning lady. Yes,
Yeah.
it is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only clean Japanese guys' houses and Koreans.
Discerning Dash says some expats make the mistake of getting a young maid sleep with her, then stops doing her job well and expect. Yeah, this also happens too. That's why you never sleep with the help. Never goes right.
That might
They
actually
should just go on a date. Correct.
check this out. That would actually probably work. I can come over as a big American woman and sit on their couch, and when they ask me to cook, tell them to go away. I can just give them the nasty service. Just sit there all fat and sassy and just tell them no all day. Are you going to clean the house? Boy, you better go sit down somewhere and get paid for it. What do you call that? It's like the Matrix situation, but in house cleaning. I can't say the full word. Me going to Japanese and Koreans' houses here and playing the dominant female and telling them no to everything and getting paid for it. I said a service that starts in January.
No, I know.
All fat and sassy. I'm just going to go sit in a Japanese guy's house that wants it cleaned, and he's going to pay me to sit there.
I get all of that. I don't get the Matrix part.
Mute it, and I'll tell you.
Never mind. Anyway, Ruby says maintain an employer-employee relationship. Correct. Now this is a different level of problem. Lou says it's hard when you hire family. No, I know. It's hard when you hire family to do some work for you. Then they go missing, come late, leave early, then ask for advances. No, family, you don't hire family to do work for you unless that's what they do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't hire, for example, Jose over there because he's just sitting there doing nothing. Hey, Jose, you know what? You want to do some work for me? Here, let's do this. I'll pay you this, you do this, okay? And then he shows up, it doesn't show up. Well, how did you beat Jose? Just him sitting there on the corner, right? Tambaying, right? Correct. You hired the wrong guy because that's not his job. He's just hangs around. So therefore, you paid somebody to hang around somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hire, only hire family if they're actually doing that as a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you know they're actually going to be professional about it. For example, they're carpenters. They have a carpentry shop, and then you go over. Okay, hey, you know, I need this bench fixed. Can you fix it for me? Yeah, sure. You know, then they fix it, and you pay them in the end. But versus again, Jose just sitting there drinking his Red Horse. Hey, Jose, fix this bench for me. I'll pay you.
Or it could be like your aunt that actually comes in, and next thing you know, 8 hours turns into a sink of some dishes, her maybe cleaning the bathroom, and then that's it. She's sitting around for the rest of the day or something, and you're paying her a full day's
Correct.
wages. And in your mind, you're like, well, I only paid her $9 for that, you know, which is quite, you know, at 500 pesos, that is a decent wage. And so it's, according to Filipino standard, not the Americanized or whatever, but she's doing two tasks but sitting around for the rest of the day. So it's, you know, or somebody that just doesn't clean. So
Victoria says, "Good morning, Heidi and George and Aaron. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Victoria.
Smell and be happy. Yes, I have an answer for you on that one. Do males house clean? Yes, actually, the best house cleaner we had was actually a guy, but then we hired his wife in, and that was the mistake.
Yep.
Put it that way.
Well, and here's what happened on that set. We said we've only done it a few times. Then the set came back where the wife wasn't working, and then they asked us for money. They sent us a message. Remember, it came in the middle of the night. They wanted us to invest in a business, and they wanted to borrow money for it. And it went from only knowing them for a few days to asking for a loan and extra money. And we're like, yeah, we can't have him come back. So he was a good cleaner, though. It was her.
No, he was really good. He's actually a handyman, but he was really good at cleaning.
Right, but she wasn't.
And that makes sense because remember, if they're a good worker, period, anything you throw them at, they're usually good at it.
Yeah.
But you know, he and and his partner obviously are two different entities and therefore have different skill levels, if that makes any sense.
Right, but they mistake some of our kindness for probably receiving a higher wage than they're used to just for cleaning. And I think we were overpaying them at that time, and then that's when we got asked for the money. So, and it will happen.
Yeah. Victor. Hey, Victor. Thank you so much. Liked. Thank you so much. Ruby says males usually do gardening works, not house cleaning, except those who are gay. Well, I disagree with that only because, again, the better house cleaner we've had was a guy, and again, that's somewhat like a misnomer because actually I've heard a lot, and this is not me talking. The better house cleaners, sorry, ladies, from what I've heard, are guys. I'm not.
And they do have them. They have the male house
Yeah.
cleaners here. They've even got companies here in Angels where they are all men. So it does. But I just can't see paying. They also charge them to me, it's not quite American prices, probably short about $20, but still paying for 2 hours for $60 I'm not going to do it either. So that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, but again, use your fair judgment, and even if you take judgment away, always trust your gut. If your gut says no, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Chosen One says free Jay-Z.
Oh, jeez. Free George. Yeah, so have you seen all that?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now, no surprise. I hate to say it. Did they arrest him? Supposedly charges were filed initially. Now they're ringing him back in, and they're saying that Diddy and him teamed a 13-year-old. Which, by the way, now that was in 2000, so the child is now 37, and now just coming forward because I guess the master ring guy is in jail. So now they're.
I'm not surprised. Actually, what I'm surprised is it took them that long. I was waiting for it, actually.
Waiting for the boot to drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. And I was like, wow, it took that long. Oh my gosh.
Oh, by the way, that's for your Christmas morning.
If it looks like that.
Well, that comes from the same company. My guess is George has a Christmas shirt coming, but no, it does. It's from the same company.
That would have been perfect for that Google Meet.
Yeah, as long as there's not a print on the back.
Oh yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
So yeah. You okay there?
I'm reading.
Just reading. Oh,
okay. Gary Ho says that seems to be a common thread. That people that are best in the industry, even industries dominated by women, think nurses, doctors, or teachers, principals, servers, chefs. I didn't expect any cleaning industry. No. Again, I'm not talking about it's not my opinion either. From what I've heard,
from
the better cleaners are guys.
Oh yeah, well that was true in the United States too.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, now, somebody explained it to me, but I didn't care. What I mean is, it's one of those I already know, so it's kind of like, but they said it in a way that makes sense, like that. How guys, when they compartmentalize, when they do work, it's weird. It's like guys have no focus, but when you put them to work, it's the opposite. They have laser focus when they're working, but then when they're not working, like where's the keys? When we're not in work mode, our brains just go. That's the best way to explain it.
No, man, not me.
You know what I'm saying?
My brain never stops. It's like a workhorse. It's like I'm trying to organize the wallpaper, man, on the wall.
And then women are multitaskers, which makes them great. But again, this is what they told me. Women are great at multitasking, but versus a guy who's cleaning, he will go basically, how they explain it to me, a guy would go inch by inch as far as when they clean. When a woman just goes everywhere at the same time, and then when they're done, they leave. So that kind of makes sense because if guys do it step by step, little by little, it'd probably take them longer, but they do more detailed clean versus a woman that does everything faster and more efficient, but not necessarily better. Again, what they told me. I'm just saying. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because there's different. Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up early. Usually we do 2 hours or more. Got a couple things that we got on the back burner today, out meeting somebody today. We do appreciate you guys dropping in. For those that dropped in at the last minute, come back through and watch from the beginning. If you missed something, be sure to like, subscribe. We're hoping to hit 20,000 by New Year, and we are on our way. So I think we will hit 20,000 before the first of the year. We're excited, guys. Kind of stoked. So
yeah, can't complain about the cleaning. Paying $9.90. Hey, welcome to the channel, Gary. Gary's new to the channel. I'm so stumbled on your channel. I live in Cambodia. I have a Cambodian wife, my own age. We look forward to a holiday in the Philippines. And all right, good to hear that. Hope you have some great time.
Really nice,
Yeah.
Cambodia. So yeah, I haven't been to any other Asian countries. Probably will. Just right now, just in a. I think I would like to see Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia would be nice. What's the other one? I want to make it over to India. I watched a Bollywood movie the other day, and me and the cats were like this, and George said, "Turn down the music," and but not every. It's kind of like the Philippines when you think about the islands. When I see them dancing and all the colors and the routines they're doing, I'm like, that's gonna be what India looks like when I arrive here. And then it was like me on my first day here. It was like,
well,
wah wah wah.
I don't know about Bollywood. No.
I want to go to Bollywood.
Well, first off, there is no Bollywood, but anyway.
In my mind, there is.
No. I'm familiar with part of that culture, and there's certain things that I'm like, yeah. No.
Anyway, so I'm gonna get around. I get around.
Yeah. George, have you seen the cleaner iRobot Roomba for floors? It's amazing what they come up with now. Is that the one that like mops and cleans at the same time? It's like I'm not sure.
Well, we did have
It's
one, but
insane.
then I caught George in the corner using it for his personal use. You're grounded, George.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for
Have a great
joining
day.
us.
Oh, hey, Scott. Have a great day, Scott.
And today,
Victor,
we're
thanks for
excited.
live stream. Thanks, Victor.
We're going out for lunch today to this place. It's
Peace.
going to be freaking awesome,
Oh.
man.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing,
Scuba?
Scuba?
Yeah, I sent him that
second
video.
win in the house, guys. Second win.
Where we had the earthquake, like when we first got here, was my first one all together, and literally on air. Yeah, Thailand. Yeah, from Clark is very convenient. Yeah, that's where we'd fly out for anywhere. But you could see us like during the earthquake, and so he was asking about it, and I made the clip yesterday and sent it. All right, guys. God bless everybody, and take care. And goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Happy holidays.
Happy
the
holidays.
holidays are on.
You'll still see us. Don't worry. Maybe.
Bunch of holiday craziness up and coming. Yeah, maybe. Hey, how about you clean those stairs?
No.
How about you clean those stairs today?
I'm gonna be too busy messing with the maid.
Did you guys like that drama December? That was based on Georgia and I's love life. Drama December. Anyways,
bye,
take
guys.
care.